guys, so I bought a van. It's a 2004 GMC Savana 1500 V6 rear-wheel drive van. It's the Regency edition, which is by far the best. Adds horsepower. Van's in pretty good shape as is, coming standard in conversion. Doesn't have any kind of camper mods that I need to live in the van full time, which is what I'm going to be doing. So starting the build process, wanted to do the whole before and after videos, and it's in pretty good shape. Only has 150,000 miles, and I was able to trade it for my Honda car, which was about $4,000 or $5,000 in value. So the van in itself so far has been a $4,000 or $5,000 investment. As you can see, it needs to be cleaned out. I've used it for some camping stuff, so I gotta pull all this out. I actually grabbed a sink that I picked up so far for $50 from a reused store, and a countertop that I'm gonna use for the build as well. Well, I'm planning out some floor plans, samples that I was able to pick up at a hardware store, and kind of see what floor I want to put in here for a hardwood. I'm going to completely gut it today and start the insulation process. And I know a lot of people go against insulating conversion vans because of the windows and the hassle they have to go through to cover them, and usually people just go cargo. But I don't care. I wanted the specific window over my kitchen. I really wanted that in my van, so I'm going to cover up these two windows here. Are going to be spray painted over and completely covered and insulated, so these won't even exist really on the inside, and the outside will be completely useless anyway. But this window I wanted because I think cooking and looking out, or even just being in here and being able to look out at wherever your adventure spot is a cool idea. And I'm also still going to keep the door windows. They come standard with the Regency like this, with these curtains, and they're pretty black out from, I mean, through this way, but they all have these gaps, and I'm not a big fan. So I might get rid of this entire concept. It's a cool idea if you were just sitting on the road for a couple of nights, but trying to be stealth camping in places that I'm trying to do, that's going to be a pretty difficult task. But let's get to the process of tearing this all out. I've already taken the seats out and used this like this. This was just where the seats were, and now I have a rug over it, and I'm going to pull all this out. So I got the full first wall in the van done, and to say honestly, I have not been this productive and this happy in a really long time. And I mean, like, really trying to do this stuff right, and calculating how I'm going to do everything, pre-buying everything, ordering everything. I mean, I've really been working on this van already before I even tore it apart. And now that I have the first wall off, I'm really just seeing the realism that this is going to be my reality very shortly. So I just got to keep working at it. And I'm so excited. Rolling. But then, that. Then, you see it? Go check that out. Go take a little ooh. Go check it out. Back it up. It's white balance focused. Damn, it's empty in here. You got it even. Got the insulation stuff too. Gonna do the insulation by ourselves before it gets to Dad, so we can put the floor in. Now me and Baby just took out the pool with that, so now we're gonna do this one. And if you want to help, grab a screwdriver because it's a lot of screws. update on my van. So I got all my stickers on my dash and I insulated all of the back. Yeah, this was the much harder task than the stickers, but the stickers had the horsepower, so. Yeah, I got most of it done. Now I just gotta have some finishing touches on these wheel wells, and then it's on to framing and flooring and kitchen. So the hippie van will be done pretty soon.
Beast, yeah, I'm on it every day, going harder than Eminem and Logic combined. I got the bars that'll blow your mind.
Day 2 on the van build, and I got a roof rack today, and I paid $75 for this roof rack on Facebook Buy Sell Trade, and it fits perfect. This thing is sick. It's gonna be able to build an entire deck hopefully someday up there. That's not really my worry right now, but definitely cool to have the option, and I jumped on the opportunity when I seen it. Now I'm working on still the insulation. We've actually just got that done and put in, and I have the spray foam all put in. We actually found out something fun about the spray foam that you guys should probably know, is that it expands really fast, so don't try to use too much because it will expand and keep falling, and then it's kind of a mess.
Do your own video,
and a hassle.
No one has one and they all suck.
Yeah, I'm doing my own video because I can't stand other people that not talking about the problems of running into when you're building your van from scratch. Here's the thing, we bought 2 cans of this 3M77, and I'm realizing now that this is almost useless. I've only needed like half 1 can. I did not need to get 2 cans, and these are $12 a can. Then the spray foam, I only bought 2 cans of the spray foam, and I ran out of those super fast. So I should have grabbed more cans of that and less cans of the adhesive spray. But that's what you learn and what you gain, the knowledge. I ran into a few snags that aren't significant yet. So once something comes up, I guess that's gonna be something that I've been expecting. I'm just like, damn, something bad's gotta happen yet.
It's not one of those shows, COVID. Not everything always goes down.
Yeah, it has to have a cliffhanger. Otherwise people won't pay attention.
Every time you watch one of those DIY shows.
Yeah, they're always like, what's gonna happen next? And then they go to commercial and they come back and nothing happened. They just got some hot dogs. They're chilling on break.
Oh, we had to redo the whole floor.
We already knew that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So it is day 4 on working on the van. Big Bro Moto decided to come over and do a little go-kart painting job, and that's cool because he brought his van, his Astro van, and I got the Savana GMC. So there's his van. That's my Big Bro's van, and then Little Bro's van. We gotta do these out, man. Hell yeah. But for the progress report on what's going down, we got the insulation done from the inside here. And I use spray foam for the inner pillars here, and I only sprayed them to be what would be flushed, so that way you could still lay plywood across. And I shaved it down with a jackknife, but I'm sure you can use a lot of things because it was actually very simple to be able to scratch right through. It's just foam, so easy. That was very simple. Kind of a pain in the ass and a very sticky mess. I would not get this on your hands. Definitely not what I would do because I got it stuck on my hands and I had to wash them like 10 times. So for the real wells and for the ground here insulation, I just have Reflectance on top of the padding that was originally standard with this conversion van for padding. I figure that's better than R3 for insulation, and I didn't have to rip it out because they really adhesive stuck this foam to the ground. So to peel that out anyway, I would have had to do a lot of physical work, and I figured it was insulation as is. I'll keep it as a standard thing. This is the blower motor for the rear vents, if you're wondering what this big thing is laying down with these 2 vents. I'm actually going to reduct these for the inside of the van when I'm done with the framework of the cabinets. But on this side here, I did some spray foam on the real well there too with the Reflectance and a tape job. It looks messy, but it will turn out very well and hopefully not be cold when we get to Colorado. So it is day 5. Day number 5 of work days, that is anyway. I started on Monday this week and it's actually a Saturday, but in work days in total that I've been working on the van, it's been 5 days. So day 5 is actually pretty productive because on day 4 we went and spent another $465 on materials for the actual camper conversion. And the insulation job is done so far now. I ended up doing the spray foam the rest of the way, and now I just got to touch up a few more spots before I clean up this whole inside. Today we're going to be doing the framework of the shelves and kind of where the bed's going to be. Actually ended up putting pre-drilling holes into the wood, if I can focus this for you guys. That way we can put these flush with the actual plywood, so when the vinyl floor sits on top of this, it all sits flush and not bumpy with the screws. And then my fan came in too. I got the 3-speed fan from Amazon. I'll link this in the description below. We're gonna put this in today then as well. So that's gonna go right here. Oh, the van is coming along. Right, Dad?
Motherfucking little metal sliver or something.
Another one?
Gloves on.
Yeah, get some.
Go.
Found those on the ground actually outside.
Yeah, because we had them on
Those gloves?
Yeah.
How's it going, baby?
Not bad, baby.
Yeah.
So far, we got everything that we needed to get done on time.
No,
not even close. We're actually behind. But the truth is, it's been going pretty well. And so far, for troubles that I've ran into, I've had to cut a few bolts off with a grinder that wasn't planned. But other than that, everything's been going pretty as planned. Day number 7, work day. We have our vent. We are installing the 3-speed vent from Amazon. I'll link it down below. But with this vent, we had to measure what was squared between these 2 pillars in the van. It's best to cut the fan in before you put the actual roof in. That way you don't have to cut around more. Kind of explain more what we did, Kieran.
Well, the main thing was keeping it centered in between these 2 pieces here and the other one there. So I just took a measurement in between those 2 from in the inside and just centered it right through those 2, and then I just eyed up the center point this way just by looking down the van. I figured I would do that on top, so I just drilled a hole just to get the center point in between these 2 beams on the inside. And then I came up top and there's ripples on the top of here. I'm sleeping.
Yep.
There's these ripples on the top, and then I just centered my point in between these ripples and lined it up with my center point that I took from the inside, and that was my exact center point for the square. And then I just measured the fan down there,
Which was the inside of this fan here on the inside of the trim.
which was 13 1/4, so I knew what my square needed to be, and I just took it from center point to the end and just cut the 13 3/4 in half and made my square. And then we just used a regular cutting wheel for a 5-inch grinder to cut through it, and it made a pretty nice clean cut.
Very clean. Heck yeah.
I lose track of how many days it's truly been on our van build here. I think it's actually like 7 or 8. But it's been a lot. And so far, problems that we've run into, in the beginning I had to only grind a couple of bolts off. Now it's beginning to be measurements. to be able to build a conversion van, you have to have some serious building background because it's all angles. Everything is all angles. The van is all at a tilt. Everything's all at angles, so you have to constantly cut these weird angled things. When you're building a van, it's almost more convenient to buy a van built if you had the money to do that. But if you don't, and you're building it yourself like I am, good luck. And send some comments down below of how your guys' van builds turned out. I actually enjoy doing it. It's fun. It's something to do. Like, it would be a cool hobby to do on the side. But if I had to do this for a living, man, I would hate it. It is a lot of work, a ton of work. I just finished up wiring up the fan, so now it turns on with running off the vehicle's 12-volt battery system. Yeah, we can turn that on for you. Yeah, got this all up, so it has a safety that you have to turn this on just a little bit up, and then you can turn it on. There it is. Nice and on, running off the car's battery, which is super cool. It will help for cooking, and it has its own fuse system. Wiring altogether was very easy. All I did was splice some wires and bought 14 AMG roll of wire from Menards, and I think this was like $12.99. And with that, I was able to splice, like, I only needed 2 feet of wire. I only used one color. I know you're supposed to have red and black for ground and positive, but I just bought one wire because you can see the red up here, so I'll know which one. I don't need to have all these other references. I built the van, so I'll be able to tell somebody else if they ever needed to. But I'm actually gonna flip the camera around and show you guys what we did with this window setup here, because it's pretty cool and definitely unique. And everything has to have some TLC and touched up, so still a long way to go, but we're coming pretty far. We got the wall put in now too. Got a couple of the panels in so far, the side panels, and they're looking pretty nice, pretty legit, very modern. And we got some of the shelving down here put in, and as well as some cabinet doors that Keegan was able to do. Dad, you cold?
Yeah, very cold outside.
We're doing a little checkup on what we got done so far. Got everything, got the temporary wall done here. You can show them a little bit of that R3 action.
Yeah,
we actually
we just cut this all R3 out, painted the black. As Colin was talking about, the angles in this van are crappy. So we clogged that up. We're working on the next side.
We're in the van, and being in the van, I wanted to run over some things that kind of got me into van life and kind of give you the backstory of what made me do what I'm doing right now and put all the hours in and the work and all the money. So these are kind of the things. So when I originally thought of the idea of van life, it wasn't actually my idea. It was my older brother got into vans, and he actually had an Astro van, and he still has it to this day, that we drove it all over the country so far, and we've had a blast in the van, and it was just not exactly what both of us thought was the ideal van, but it was a very good start van to kind of get a base of what van life would be like. So we enjoyed sleeping out of it and going to travel around for bike meets and bike days. I ended up trading my car for this van and started to build this van now. This van is actually significantly bigger than your average like VW van or your Ford Inlines, your Dodge vans. This is typically for a flatline van pretty large. It's not an extended cargo van. I know that's most van people that have a ton of windows are the extended cargo vans. Far before I actually started to build the van, I had all these ideas in my head of kind of what I wanted to do based on watching a ton of YouTube videos and just doing a ton of research on what it would actually be like to build this van, how realistic the goal was, and if I could live in it in scenarios where I really thought I would be. Well, with all that stress came a lot of knowledge, and now that I know the knowledge of van life, I got into the way that I did. I would do some things different for a future build, but I would also do a lot of things the same because I liked it a lot in this build. So now we're just going to see about functionality once it's completely finished. Overall, I think that this purchase for the van and the trade so far has been quite a trade up, and I've gotten the plus end of my trade because I thought that this van life is going to be pretty cool. It's going to open up a lot of adventures and a lot of opportunities. Stuff that I really wouldn't have gotten if I was restricting myself in a house and paying rent all the time and not having a lot of money to go off of to begin with. So it's pretty great to just be able to jump into a van and go anywhere you want and know that you're going to be okay. You can stay the night, you can stay a couple of nights, you'll be fine. You can stay the week, you can stay a month. And I'm going to live in this thing full time, so I'm going to stay a long time in this thing. So we'll figure out how truly functional this build is. There's nothing like kicking back and drinking some beers in this van. got the bike, did a couple runs already with it, got the van, got the beer. Check out my time. I got an 11